My name is David Snyders. I'm the Sheriff of Stevenson County, and I'm accompanied by Commander Lachette from the Illinois State Police. And this afternoon we received a call at approximately 1:20 p.m. from a female who advised that there was an individual at 2014 North Harlem Center Road who was apparently despondent over some personal issues. He was armed with a shotgun and a pistol, and we learned later that he had other rifles in his possession. Deputies responded along with the Illinois State Police. We set up a staging area and were able to observe the subject, who was apparently very despondent. He was randomly shooting in the air. Our negotiator from the Stevenson County Sheriff's Department began negotiating with him. She made contact by phone, negotiated him for quite some time, and while this was going on, he continued to randomly shoot into the air, and we're not sure if he was shooting at anything or anyone. However, he did come out from his residence, came down his driveway, stood in the middle of Harlem Center Road, and was gesturing. He was armed, and he wasn't gesturing at anyone, and he eventually went back up his driveway. The negotiator continued speaking with him, and I give her a lot of credit. She eventually got him to come out to the road. He was armed with a pistol. He had the pistol displayed. She was eventually able to get him to lay the pistol down, put his hands up, and he was taken into custody. He did resist, but he was taken into custody and was immediately tended to by our medics from our ERT team. We had ambulances standing by. They arrived and they took him to FHN Memorial Hospital. The individual was identified as Clint Kessler. He's 30 years old, and he lives at 2014 North Harlem Center Road. And again, as I mentioned before, he was despondent over personal issues, and according to a witness, had been drinking since last night, so he was intoxicated. But I'm very pleased that he wasn't hurt. He did indicate that he wanted to end it by police, and we were able to end it peacefully. And that's great satisfaction to me.
The female caller, were they related in any way?
I don't know if they were related or not. I couldn't answer that question.
Okay, we heard that maybe the female caller was calling from the woods. Was she?
There were acquaintances who ran into the woods on the east side of Harlem Center once he began displaying the gun and threatening to shoot people.
And was he at his home the whole time? Did the scene happen at the house the whole time?
Yes, he never went back into the house, and the weapons that he had were in a vehicle in his driveway area. When he came out to the road the last time, he was gradually making his way south to where some of the officers were. However, we had officers, sheriff's deputies and Illinois State Police troopers who had eyes on him. And when he got to the road, he began walking towards officers who were south of his location. We were able to, because he was walking, we were able to have those deputies who were close to his house go to his vehicle and remove the guns before, in the event that he went back to his car.
So you did say he shot off, was it maybe a few rounds?
Oh, no. Multiple rounds.
And just straight into the air?
Or? I don't know. He was threatening troopers who were on Route 20. Okay, they were able to get out of his any line of fire, but they did have eyes on him from the bypass 20.
So you do believe this was an isolated incident just involving this individual and a few others?
This was involving this individual who was despondent over personal issues that were affecting his life.
And what would you say to residents? Obviously, some of them are pretty shaken up about this. Not every day you see this many officers working a scene right in their front yard.
Well, what I would say is that we were able to keep our eyes on the individual. We had him in our sight at all times, and because of the presence there from law enforcement, I would say that at that time they weren't in any danger, okay? But I do give credit to the sheriff's deputies and the Illinois State Troopers who arrived it was handled very professionally, and as I said, it was. I'm so pleased that it ended safely.
And when was the initial calls made in about this? Do you know that?
The initial call came in at approximately 1:19, 1:20, and it was ended at 2:54 p.m.
Okay.
And the individual is at FHN Memorial Hospital getting treated.
From those rounds fired off, was there any damage around the area by chance?
I haven't received any calls of any damage. He was shooting pistols and rifles. So we had rifles, a shotgun, and I don't know how many pistols.
Just with being able to identify him, does he have any that you know of criminal history? Have you guys been made aware of this?
No, I don't think he has any criminal history. He does have a valid FOID. We know that.
And was it just one call? Because I was talking with some neighbors and they said it's pretty common to hear gunshots at some points of the time because it's an area that some hunters practice.
Of course.
So,
of course. Yeah, during hunting season, of course you're going to hear gunshots. Whether it's shotgun, pistol.
What is the next step moving forward in this process now?
Well, the next step is to get the individual treated, and then he will be arrested. He will be charged. Those are forthcoming, and the state's attorney will review the case and ultimately decide what he's going to be charged with.